Welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. We're going to close out the show talking about your health, your allergies. In fact, I know it's that time of the year, especially for me. So I'm right there with you. Well, I'm here with Michelle Gunter, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you can do this allergy season.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks so much for coming on the show. I mean, it comes around every year. You'd think that we'd have a plan, but we don't. It feels like it just sneaks up on us every single time. What do you want consumers to know about allergy season?
So, I think that in CVS Pharmacy, we have multiple over-the-counter medications that can help with allergies. So if you are experiencing this, come by and talk to your pharmacist, and they can recommend you any different kind of over-the-counter medication based on what your symptoms are.
Can we talk a little bit about the pollen in Atlanta? I mean, it just seems bananas. It's all over the car. It's everywhere we look. What should we know about pollen season?
So I actually checked this morning, and the pollen count is high. Like you stated, it's everywhere. And it looks like it's going to be high for the foreseeable future.
Wow. In terms of our options, when we go to our local CVS, it just seems like there's so much to choose from. What should we be thinking about in terms of our options for allergy care?
So with allergy care, it really falls into three different categories. You have your antihistamines, your decongestants, and your corticosteroids. And sometimes it takes you trying a few different options to find what works best for you.
When we're talking about those options, sometimes what gets people, mixed up is that it kind of feels like a cold. It kind of, you get that stuffy decongestant thing, that, congestion thing happening when it's really your allergies. What should we know about decongestants?
So decongestants they help reduce congestion in the nasal passage and in your sinuses. The one thing to watch out for decongestants, though, is they can cause some irritability. They can cause trouble sleeping, high blood pressure. So if you do have glaucoma, hyperthyroidism, cardiovascular disease, or high blood pressure, this would not be the best option for you.
Oh my goodness, now that's good to know. The other thing I think we see it often, but we don't really know what it is. Can we talk a little bit about corticosteroids? Am I even saying it right?
Corticosteroids, yes. So corticosteroids, what they do is they help reduce the inflammation in the passage. So these can help with like the runny nose or your sniffling or your watery eyes. They can help with those.
So in terms of preventative action, is there anything that we can do before we start suffering?
So a lot of people, they wait until they have those allergy symptoms to start taking these allergy medicines. And actually, the antihistamines and the corticosteroids, they work better preventatively. So you want to take them 2 to 4 weeks before allergy season starts. So if you have not started taking them, now would be a very good time to start.
And to your point, we often think that, what we take for our medicine on a daily basis, those things that we take all the time, we can kind of just slide these medicines in. But is there a better time of day that we should be thinking about our allergy medicines?
So it depends on what medication you're taking. If it's once a day, typically in the mornings, better to take it with a nasal corticosteroid. That's going to be a spray. So it just depends on which product you're using. Sometimes it's once a day, sometimes it's multiple times a day. So again, it really depends on the product.
Okay. And for those of us who are taking other things, for example, you mentioned, those people that might be taking something for high blood pressure. What should we be concerned about in terms of, not mixing the wrong medications?
So like I stated before, the decongestants, you want to watch out for people with the high blood pressure, the cardiovascular disease, glaucoma, hyperthyroidism. With the other, I would talk to the pharmacist on duty or your healthcare provider, just because there is an array of different allergy medicines, and let them know your list of medications, and they can tell you if there's any interactions.
Excellent. And for those people, are there any things that we can do that don't involve medicine?
There are some non-medication options. So the nasal saline rinse, it's actually a rinse that you would put up into your nasal passage, and it'll help flush those allergens out. And the salt and the saline solution actually will help relieve that excess moisture in the nose. There's also saline eye drops, and those will help flush the allergens out of the eyes, so you won't have those watery, itchy eyes. And these can be used as needed.
All right. Well, thank you so much for making time for us. Let's close out with a website where we can find our local, our closest CVS and things like that. Where should we go online?
You can go to cvs.com and they will give you the CVS is nearest to you. And we also have an app that you can download, and it will give you all the different information about CVS's around your area.
All right. Well, thank you so much for making time for us today. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
All right, guys, we don't have to just suffer in silence. There are things that we can do. All we need to do is be a little more educated, right? So take the opportunity to go to the website, find your local CVS, and as she mentioned, sometimes it's just a matter of asking the pharmacist a couple of questions. Take the time to do all of those things before it gets really bad, and we might be able to get through this pollen season without much upset. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to this week's episode of Focus Atlanta. I hope to see you next Sunday here on WUPA.